Hi everybody, I cannot wait to hoop with you at Camp Jinka. I'm really looking forward to it. But meanwhile, we've got a few hooping tips for you. Look forward to seeing you in August. So first of all, we're going to learn some basic waist hooping, and Davey's going to give us an idea of exactly what that looks like. To start waist hooping, there's a couple things you want to remember. First of all, when you think hula hooping, you might think hula, right, left, right, left. Not for this. We're going to put our hoop on, and we're going to put one foot in front of the other. Doesn't matter which foot, whatever you're comfortable with. And the motion that you want is actually a back and forth motion, not a side to side motion. So back and forth. You're going to take the hoop and kind of wind it up, and you're going to push with the hand that is furthest away from your navel. Give it a nice big push and do this back and forth motion. It might feel kind of funny at first. You might feel like you're all over the place. But once you get it, it'll kind of look like this. And feel free to let the hoop drop. That's completely natural.
Work it back, filter that, baby bump that track, groove slam.
So you're waist hooping, but the hoop keeps falling. So what do you do about that? Number one, let it fall. It's part of the fun. Here's another thing you can do. When you feel it start to fall, you speed up. Keep your torso straight. A couple things that people sometimes do when they feel it falling, they spread their legs in thinking that they're going to catch it, and it ends up just going down anyway. Another thing some tend to do is they feel it falling and they bend over, and the hoop's going to slide right off your bum. So remember, keep your torso straight, and when you feel it falling, just go a little faster. And now that you've got waist hooping down, we're going to switch it up a little bit and switch direction. So to switch direction, you're hooping, you're going to break it, stop it, and then switch direction. You can put your opposite foot in front again. Break, reverse, break, reverse. And that can get really fun when you start going fast. Now that you've got waist hooping down and you're changing direction a little bit, we want to add a little dance. And so Davey's going to show us how to add a few arm movements. You want to add arm movements as Davey showed us. It's really easy. You might want to just start with one hand at a time. Out, up, back to your heart, out, up, back to your heart. And the challenge here is your mind is thinking about hooping around the waist and also thinking about your arm movements. And so it's a little bit of a challenge. Have fun. Next, we're going to learn to play with the space in front of our hoop. And Davey's going to show us exactly what that looks like. To play with the space in front of us, you'll notice as you're hooping, there's a spot that opens up. Right there, right there, right there. Sometimes it starts on the other side. It goes around, big space, opening up. So what you want to do is put your hand in there. Maybe just start with one hand at first. And I like to pretend it's a hot potato I'm touching. And then, as you're keeping the hoop up, add the other one. Well, you've learned how to waist hoop. You've learned to change direction, play with the space in front of you, and also add arm movements. So let's put it together in a dance. Next, we're going to learn to turn while in the hoop. Turning in the hoop. What you want to do is turn in the direction of your hoop. So my hoop goes to the right, I'm going to turn right. If your hoop goes to the left naturally, you can turn to the left. What I do is put my weight on my back foot and I pivot. I take a little turn in the direction of the hoop. I'll show you again. And then you can start adding a little bounce to it. And that's all part of the dance. Now we're going to learn to pass the hoop. It's an off-body move where the hoop goes around us. Davey's going to demonstrate that. So now we're going to pass the hoop. And we're going to pass it in front of us and then behind us. So to start with, whichever hand is comfortable, knuckles up to knuckles up to knuckles up. In front, behind. You can move, you can bend. The lasso, it's another off-body trick. So now to do a lasso, we're going to put the hoop in front of us with one hand. Either hand is fine. And you're going to put your knuckles down. And basically you're just going to pass it around and then bring your arm up. Open your hand like this. Let me demonstrate that. Arm up, hand is open, thumb is down. If the thumb is up, the hoop is going to curl down your arm, and you definitely don't want that to happen. Let me show it to you again. Knuckle down in front of you, turn, bring it up into a lasso. Now we're going to learn a basic turn of the hoop off the body. Now we're going to take the hoop and put it on our hand like this, and we're going to give it a good push to get the momentum going. So you want to really use your arm. It might bounce just a little bit as the momentum goes. You don't want to use your hand so much or your wrist. You want to let your arm do the movement. So as the hoop turns around, you're going to see an opening here, the largest opening. And then you're going to put your other hand into a prayer position. Open, open, open. Whoa, I almost lost it. Both thumbs are up. That way it doesn't crawl up your arm. And now I'm going to take one hand out. Open, open, open. Prayer position. Take one hand out. This can get really fun when you want to dance. And now we're going to learn how to hoop on our elbows. So we've talked about putting the hoop on our hand. We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to move our hand out here. Again, you want to keep your thumb up. That prevents the hoop from traveling up your arm. But what if you want the hoop to travel up your arm? Let's watch. Give it a spin. Get the momentum going. I'm going to put my thumb down. And look at how the hoop is slowly crawling up my arm. And I'm going to go a little faster, speed it up, and it goes right past my elbow. You'll notice the opening. Open, 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 open. At that opening, bend your elbow. Open, open, open. And now, you're hooping on your elbow. You can play around with that too. Open, 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 open. Next is a really awesome move called the corkscrew. And guess what? You've got to come to camp to learn it.